Hello, I'm Charles Haskell. This is the third in a series of short videos on UUSM history from my 40-year membership perspective. The topic today is social action under the 35-year ministry of the Reverend Ernie Pipes, 1956 through 1991. Ernie was born in Texas, educated there, and served in the Navy on a destroyer during the Second World War. He had a box of books, and after the war he attended Harvard University under the GI Bill. Initially he was studying for a degree in philosophy, but switched to the School of Divinity, where he received the Doctor of Divinity degree. He and his family served in a church in New York, where he was discovered by Angie Forbes, who had been sent by the congregation to find a new minister at a time that the church was split over McCarthy-era laws. Ernie and his family came to Santa Monica, where they raised their 3 children and served together as a team. Ernie emphasizing the intellectual and sermons, and Maggie emphasizing the soul and heart of social justice. Major activities during Ernie's ministry of a social action nature included serving in 1964 as a counselor for conscientious objectors during the Vietnam War era. The UUA had condemned the Vietnam War, and Ernie did his part to try to help young people avoid that conflict. In 1965, the congregation sent Ernie to Selma, where he marched with Martin Luther King. In 1966, Ernie was counseling women about abortion at a time when abortion was illegal. That was in the era before Roe v. Wade. And in the 1970s, Ernie was conducting same-sex marriages at a time that was not the practice. In addition to Ernie's personal activities in social justice and social action was being pursued by the Social Action Committee. The Social Action Committee was an independent organization. It was an affiliated organization, but not a committee of the church itself. The Social Action Committee kept that status because they wanted the independence and flexibility that came from not having oversight by the board and other church leadership. The chair of the Social Action Committee during much of this time was Sylvia Burke. Sylvia had been associated with the Communist Party in her youth and was harassed by the McCarthy-era Inquisition, and left New York to come to California to raise her son as a single mother. Her son Robert went on to be a leading lawyer in Southern California. In addition to Sylvia, another leading member of the Social Action Committee at that time was Marge Zifferblatt, who was particularly interested in democratic politics and the West Side Coalition. Marge's daughter, Ellen Stewart, remains a member of our congregation to this day. But again, the heart and soul of the Social Action Committee was really Maggie Pipes. Maggie had been raised in Texas, spoke Spanish, and had a deep abiding love for people from Mexico and from Central America. As a consequence, under her leadership, the church became a sanctuary church for Nicaraguan refugees in 1986. In the 70s, she worked with Cesar Chavez for economic justice, and in fact, at one point, she brokered a secret meeting between Cesar Chavez and a leading Southern California grower to try to come up with a better contract for workers. Other kinds of social action by the committee included establishing the first Head Start program in Santa Monica in association with the first AME church in Santa Monica, and in the late 1980s, homelessness. Christine and I were very involved with the homeless effort, and the committee found and helped 2 homeless families to find housing, tried to help them find better educational opportunities for their kids and health care. Sadly, our effort was a failure with these two families. They both reverted to homeless status, and we realized that we lacked the resources, experience, and specific skills that were required to help homeless families become established and independent. This concludes my summary of social action activities during the Ernie Pipes and Maggie Pipes era. I'd like to emphasize again that Social Action Committee during this time was an independent committee and was not under the direct management of the church, and as a consequence, many people saw social action as being a peripheral activity, a parallel activity rather than a core activity of the church itself. In my next video, I'll review how this changed under the ministry of the Reverend Judith Meyer, who believed that social action should be an integral part of the church's activities. Thank you.